unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that I have the pleasure to introduce myself to you, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So guys, in today's pick a card reading, we're going to be discussing the full moon that's coming towards us on October 1st. And this full moon that's happening on the 1st of October is a really special one because it is the first of two full moons that we have during the month of October in 2020. So the first full moon and all of the effects that it's going to have on your life is what we're discussing in today's video. So that full moon is called the harvest moon. The second full moon of October, called the blue moon, and the rarity of two full moons in the same month is what gives the blue moon its name, is happening on the 31st of October. So a really exciting celestial event right on Halloween. So in order to help you figure out exactly how you can deal with this full moon that's coming up very quickly, I have prepared 4 groups that you can choose from, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. So pick whichever crystal that you feel resonates the most with you and the intentions that you are trying to set for the month of October. So group number 1 corresponds to the rose quartz point, group number 2 corresponds to the amethyst, group number 3 corresponds to the geode, and group number 4 corresponds to the selenite tower. And of course, the timestamps to all 4 groups can be found down below in the description box, as well as pinned to the comment section for quick and easy access from your mobile devices. And also, if you're new to my channel and you're into astrology, celestial events, pick a card readings, make sure that you hit that subscribe button in order to never miss another reading that's relevant to your life. So yeah, you guys, that's it for the intro. I want to keep it short, so let's jump right into the reading, starting off with the rose quartz point. And to all of my other lovely groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the rose quartz point, group number 1. Let me do a quick close-up for you of your stone. This is just such a beautiful point, and it's just so aesthetically pleasing to have these around your home. So I would definitely recommend this not only as a beginner crystal, but also as a crystal that can give your home that extra little bit of aesthetic. But let's move into your reading in order to figure out exactly what's coming towards you on the 1st of October, how this full moon is going to affect your life, group number 1. So we have Dreamweaver as well as crystals. So one thing that I can instinctively see here in Dreamweaver is just the fact that you're going to have your dreams be a lot more accessible, meaning you're most likely going to remember any dreams that you have on the 1st of October, plus minus a few days. It's actually proven that people sleep a lot less during full moons, so it could be that your sleep is kind of restless due to your dreams, or that you're just able to access and remember your dreams because you are restless. Okay, so it could go both ways. Either way, one thing that I definitely would recommend is for you to keep a journal, just a pen and paper next to wherever it is that you're sleeping, and write down those dreams, write down those thoughts. No matter how weird, creepy, funny that they are, they will come in handy at a later point in your life. Next up, in crystals, I see here the crystals can help you amplify the energies that you desire to bring with you into the month of October, and maybe just bring with you for the rest of the year. So as we spoke about at the beginning of your reading, for instance, a rose quartz point is an amazing addition to your home to help fill it with more energy and frequencies of love, friendship, just a very supportive type of environment. So you're being called here to take care of your crystals, to cleanse them if you haven't cleansed them for a while, group number 1, and not trying to call you out, but just trying to give you the best possible tips on how to move into this new month on an amazing note. So take care of those crystals, bring them out, use them, put them to work, and know that their energies are amplified during this very special time and celestial event. Next up, we have the shaman. So in the shaman, one thing that I do see here is a little bit of like this DIY thing going on for you during the 1st of October, just during that period of time, you wanting to do things by yourself, work with your hands, as well as just use home remedies in order to fix anything that you feel like could really benefit from just a little bit of work, could really benefit from you spending a little bit of time working on it. So that is one area where I see you thriving, as well as putting a little bit of work in and feeling very creative, group number 1. Let's move further into your reading. Next, we have the flame. So we have very powerful and fiery energy, which is no surprise as this full moon is happening in Aries, but I do also want you to know that this explosive energy may channel some disruptions happening in life, okay? Irritability, but not only from you, group number 1, also from other people. So you may get into some disputes, some spats, some tiffs, however you would like to call it, just situations with friends, family members where there are disagreements, and there may be some situations where you're acting a little bit out of character, but that's okay because it's not just you who's going through that, group number 1. We're all kind of in a very weird situation dealing with this powerful celestial event. Next up, we have autumn is my last chance. So I do see, to a certain degree, a feeling like a chapter is closing, like something is coming to a definitive end. And on the 1st of October, I want you not to lose hope or to feel somehow like the entire year is lost or an entire project that you've been working on was for nothing, okay? Autumn is my last chance is here to kind of communicate to you that, hey, this is not the last opportunity for you to make the most out of the situation. This is not the last time that you're giving the opportunity to shine, that you're given the ability to create something for yourself, and to not put a lid on ideas that you have or projects that may have been a little bit bumpy throughout this year, and to continue believing in them and believing in the fact that you can get to completion with those projects and just different things that you're working on. Next up, we have the dried flower fairy, as well as the faceless ghost and the haunted girl. So there may be some supernatural things happening here for you on the 1st of October. Now, don't be afraid. I do want you to know here in the faceless ghosts and the haunted girl that just feeling some sort of higher power is very normal and natural during such big celestial events, during things that don't occur very often in our lifetimes, but nevertheless are powerful and nevertheless have an effect on our bodies and our minds. I do want you to know that often we feel as though there's something weird around, there's some sort of energy, maybe even a ghost type of occurrence, when it's actually just this supercharged vibration that's coming from the moon, this supercharged space that we're in that can be a lot for us to handle, especially with how disconnected human beings have become with nature and just the moon, the planets, celestial events. It can be very confusing, or a time where we try to make sense of it by saying it's something supernatural when in fact it's maybe just a very natural time for things to shine, for the moon to exert its energy, to just kind of shower us with this amplified energy, which is where your crystals can really come in handy. If you feel like the energy is just too powerful for you, there's just too much going on, allow for your crystals to help you to absorb some of that energy by placing them where you sleep, where you work, where you spend a lot of your time. In the dried flower fairy, I do see here kind of like a little bit of reminiscing in memories of loved ones, of situations that you enjoyed, of times that you wish you could go back to. And it could even be something as simple as watching a show, something like reality TV, where you see what the world was like just a year ago, and it feels like it's so far away. It feels like so much has changed, which it has, and it seems like that type of life can be very far away from where you're at right now. In the Queen of the Moon that we have next in your reading, group number 1, in sovereignty, I do want you to know here that by remaining strong, by understanding that change is something that is inevitable, but change is something that you can also kind of conquer and become very powerful at going along with and mastering, if you will. Your adaptability is what keeps you going, and just the sense of knowing that, almost like a chameleon, you can adapt to any environment, even the craziest of environments, and you can be okay. You can still do life. Group number 1. Next, we have the Waning Gibbous 5, which is all about resilience. Now, resilience is something that you've already shown, and it could be here that on the 1st of October, you reach a point where you're kind of over it. You're kind of over just carrying all of this on your back. You're kind of over just having this heavy weight of this collective energy that's on the planet right now, because it is really different if you think about it, just how the entire energetic plane feels like, how things feel like spiritually between humans. It's different for everybody, but I think we can all agree that with what we've been going through, this change has brought kind of heavy energy to the planet, energy that we're not used to. So on one end, there is this big sense of enlightenment, but on the other end, it's kind of like we're all carrying this very heavy burden of wanting to be responsible human beings, of wanting to make sure that we do the right thing, that we're staying safe and keeping others safe in such difficult times. But at the same time, we also need to understand that it's okay to feel down. It's okay to feel like this is too much to stem, and to just let it out in some way, shape, or form. I see here in the 8 of Wands that letting out your energies, your emotions that have been stuck in this situation where you feel like you're carrying a very heavy burden, the best place to let it out is in creative ventures and projects. So if you, for example, always wanted to write a book, if you've always wanted to create some art, to start maybe your own art page, your own space where you can connect with people who have similar interests to you, know that now's the time. Around the 1st of October is really all about doing, taking action in directions that soothe you and directions that keep your mind off of all of the chores that you have and all of the craziness that's going on. Next up, we have the 10 of Pentacles. So one thing that I can see here in the 10 of Pentacles is just the fact that when it comes to your financial status, there is this sense of fulfillment. So it could be that that's just because, you know, payday, that's just because you're getting a check. But I do also see here, group number 1, that any type of financial ventures that you're looking into have a great chance at flourishing and thriving by putting in a lot of creative energy, a lot of problem solving energy, and instead of feeling like you have this heavy burden of not only taking care of yourself, but also making sure that you're doing the right thing for others, for the people around you. So use this time that is fruitful for your career, for just new business projects, in order to plant the seeds. And keep in mind, group number 1, that the day you plant the seed is not the day that you eat the fruit or reap the rewards. This is all about longevity and about delayed gratification here in the 10 of Pentacles, when you're now moving into the next project and the next attempts to create more freedom for yourself. Because if there's something that we all desire and want more of, is to be happy, safe, as well as free. So I definitely see that your endeavors into that direction are where you should be putting your energy in, rather than focusing too much on relationships where there are difficult situations, discussions, arguments. Those are just going to blow up, okay? Leave it for another day, another celestial event, and just move into your own little creative niche and space and try new things in that regards. So group number 1, we are at the end of your reading. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. Leave a little diamond emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end of your reading. I'm sending you so much love and gratitude. Thank you for sharing this sacred space with me today, and I'll catch you in another video. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Amethyst group number 2, which we're going to do a little close-up of, just so you can have a good look at the crystal, the stone that you chose. So let's move into your reading in order to figure out exactly what is coming for you on the 1st of October. Okay, so let's see how this very important full moon is going to affect your life. We have these stone people as well as the tree people. So one thing that I can see here in these stone people is this inner knowing resurfacing. So we all have this type of instinct, just as animals have instincts. They know exactly what they need to do at any given point, at any given time of the year. I see here in these stone people that any issues, problems, challenges that you have in your life, group number 2, are going to be able to resolve themselves by you just using this knowledge that is popping up. So just think back at a time where you had a difficult situation that you were trying to solve. You were trying to figure out how you can do something about it, and you were thinking about it for a long time. You were trying to find a way to fix it, and all of a sudden this idea popped into your head. All of a sudden you were like, oh, this is what I could do. This is how I could solve this issue. That is exactly what I see coming for you, epiphanies. In the tree people, I do also see here this kind of synergy with the nature, this type of give and take. So you kind of like understanding the importance of making sure that you're living a life that is sustainable, that you're using the resources that are already in your vicinity, that you already have as an option to make use of to solve your issues, and that you're not holding back in those regards. So for instance, finally using some of the things that you've been saving, some of the products you've been saving, and making something with them, rather than waiting for the likelihood of a very special occasion to take place that you already know is close to zero. Next up, we have death. So one thing that I want you to know here, group number 2, is that we have a sense of a transformation that you're going through, a transformation that you knew was coming. So you may have, for instance, already known that change on a very deep cellular level has been inevitable for you for a long time. You felt it in your bones, in your sixth sense. You kind of realize that something big is happening, something big is changing within you. And that is one thing that I see coming to a climax on the 1st of October or around that time. Next up, we have the tree of life. So in the tree of life, know that if pregnancy is something that you're looking at or even trying to avoid, that's a very fertile time for you, okay? The tree of life is all about conception. So if you have this weird feeling of maybe even a pregnancy around you or a pregnancy affecting you directly, know that conception on the 1st of October is very likely, group number 2. Next up, we have the Son of Cups. So in the Son of Cups, one thing that I do see here is emotionally being in a space where you're open to new possibilities, where you're open to allowing new people in or allowing for new challenges in life. So that is where on the 1st of October, around the 1st of October, you may think to yourself, well, maybe it's not such a bad idea to actually start my own family. Maybe it's not a bad idea to move in with this person or to tell this person how I really feel about them. So just emotional openness as well as talking very openly about how you feel is one thing that I see coming. Next up in the Tower, I do see that you have to be careful with that, okay? The Tower is all about things kind of falling apart and coming to a halt, coming to a screeching halt, group number 2. And as you know, I'm an honest tarot reader. I'm not just going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is that I see. And I do see here in the Tower in correspondence to the Son of Cups that not everybody is ready to receive the truth. Not everybody is ready for you to tell them how you truly feel and what you've been going through. So choose very wisely who you reveal this information to in order to avoid rejection. Next up, we have the 8 of Pentacles. So in the 8 of Pentacles, I do see here that when it comes to your financial situation, you feel as though, okay, things are set up in a way how I can move forward, knowing exactly how to create this safety net. But I do see that with all of the things that have been going on in your life, in your direct surrounding, I do see that it can be difficult to go from knowing theoretically what to do to actually doing it, to actually creating financial abundance and freedom. So that is where I see here in the 8 of Pentacles that you need to make sure that you're not giving up and that you consider actually doing things a very important part of creating the financial situation that you desire. So not just taking in knowledge, understanding how, for instance, the stock market works or how to start a business, start an online venture, but having engaged in it, having actually tried it, that is just going to give you so much more wisdom and so much more to hold on to that can give you confidence. Next, we have the storm. So in the storm, we have a situation that is similar to the tower. So tumultuous emotions. I see that you may feel to a certain extent irritable. You may feel like you're going through some mood swings. You may feel like there is this kind of bipolar mood, this bipolar vibe in the air. Now, that does not mean that, bipolar is something that you have to worry about having or that it's becoming clear to you on the 1st of October, but it's just something that you're going through momentarily a lot more strongly during this celestial event than any other. Just as, depression and feeling depressed, those can be two very different things, right? Everybody goes through phases where they feel depressed and down, but that doesn't mean that you have depression. But now that you know that that's something that you will be dealing with, you can prepare yourself mentally and not freak yourself out or feel as though something is inherently wrong with you. It's just the type of mood swings that come with this full moon. Next up, we have the stone. So the stone in correspondence to the harvest moon that we have popping up for us, group number 2, is a sign that things are going to be solidified. Things are going to come to a point where, okay, this is it. This is a new reality. So this is either in your job, this is financially, this is something that you're realizing in our society, like, wow, this is how it's most likely going to be for the next months, years. This is reality. And you may have thought to yourself that you've been in denial for a very long time about how long this economic situation, this situation that we're going through globally, is going to be affecting your day-to-day life, and just for how long the aftermath is still going to exist. But I do see here in the stone that you're going to realize that there is a lot more substance. There are a lot more layers to this situation that you maybe didn't even consider, but I see clarity coming towards you, and just this knowing that what's going on is a lot bigger than anybody expected, than you even expected, and the aftermath is going to affect each and every one of us in our daily lives. Next, we have the first quarter moon as well as the snow moon. So I do see here in the snow moon a feeling of purity, a feeling of understanding exactly what it is that other people are going through. As I can see in the first quarter moon, that you're assessing the situation, who needs help, who of your friends, your family members is just going through a very rough time. And I see here in the snow moon a very pure kind of need and want to help other people, to be there for others. And group number 2, that's a very selfless way to be. I truly do applaud you for it, and I think it's beautiful for you to be so caring and understanding of what others may be going through, that you put yourself in their shoes, that you show this empathetic nature of yours. And to you, it may be normal, but it's not normal for a lot of other people, and it just does show that you're naturally an empath, or just overall somebody who is very compassionate. And when you're going through a phase where you're emotionally a bit volatile, just like during this harvest moon, it can be easy to feel very, very sad about issues that aren't your own, that are other people's issues. And that's where you have to remind yourself to still keep a little bit of distance, because it is not your job to make everybody feel comfortable and to fix other people's things that they're going through. And then last but not least, we have the lantern fairy. So in the lantern fairy, I see here a very clear solution. I see, again, this clarity, this inner knowing that we spoke about in these stone people, this moment of just being really real with yourself, even if it means that you come to the understanding that life will never be the same again, or things are just changing in a way that you have no control over. I see here in the lantern fairy just being very of how to move forward dealing with the challenges that you're going through, and just understanding that there's no point in simply feeling bad or simply feeling like everything is out of your control and allowing for anxiety to take over, but instead to make a real steady plan on what you can do for the rest of the year to still create prosperity and abundance for yourself and the people who you love and care about, as those do play a big role in the epiphanies and the clarity that is coming towards you on the 1st of October. So group number 2, we are at the end of your reading. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a little swan emoji down below in the comment section if you made it to the end of your reading. I'm sending you so much love. I hope you're staying safe, and I would like to thank you for sharing this sacred space with me, and I'll catch you in another video. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Geode group number 3, which is a really awesome, beautiful crystal. I absolutely love geodes because whenever you crack one of these stones open, you never know what shape, colors, or form they're going to have, which is such a big part of the fun. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly how this full moon is going to be affecting you. So first we have the middle world as well as the flute. So one thing that I see here in the middle world is a coming to presence, coming to this understanding that life is happening now. You don't have a backup life. You have to live now. You have to do the things that you love now. So the sense of urgency is going to express itself. That is one thing that I see in the flute. So you may be very vocal about what it is that you want to do and how it is that you want to move forward. So your friends, family members, maybe your partner is just going to think to themselves, wow, like he or she is just really crazy at this point. So craziness coming out by you saying, look, I only live once. I have to do bungee jumping now. I have to plan to travel as soon as it's safe, and I have to make sure that I'm taking care of myself now. Just getting this bug to get things done that other people may not understand or may not be able to relate to, because they're just like, what's the rush? But to you, you understand that, you know, life is happening now and certain things need to be put in motion so that you don't keep procrastinating them. Next up, we have Gnosis. So Gnosis is this innate inner knowing, the fact that you accept everything or are open to everything and reject nothing. So any type of silly ideas that somebody may have, you're in, okay? You're going to be a part of that because you're trying to be present. You're trying to do all of the things that you set your mind out to do, but because of how things are in the world right now, it can be difficult to organize anything or do a lot of the things that you usually would like to do or have thought to do. So anybody who has a little bit of a silly idea, you're not exactly opposed to it, and that's where I want you to be careful, group number 3, and to make sure that you don't get yourself into a difficult situation where you wished you would have thought it through a little bit more. Next up, we have the medallion. So I do see here that you have your eyes set on the prize and can be very impulsive, which is absolutely not surprising given the fact that this full moon is a full moon in Aries, okay? Trying to get there first, trying to be the first one to try something new, trying to be the first to get back into a regular routine. Be very careful, group number 3. Impulsiveness is not your friend. It's not a good situation right now, and it can get you into serious trouble. I see here in the womb that instead of kind of directing your energy and you wanting to get things done, okay, your drive towards the outer world, try and direct it towards the inner world. Try and direct it towards yourself, towards what is going on internally with you. Tackling those feelings of just wanting to go out, wanting to be present so desperately that you may even put yourself or others in danger. Figure out where that feeling is coming from. So in a sense, this is shadow work. In a sense, this is you understanding that sometimes you have to reflect on why you're feeling a certain way and why you're doing something that you otherwise wouldn't do, and why you don't want to put further thought into planning it out and figuring out whether it's even a good idea or not. You know, are you being reckless for a reason? Are you rebelling against a certain situation or emotional turmoil that you're going through? Next up, we have the clockwork pumpkin. So one thing that I can see here is that despite all of the reckless ideas that you may have have and all of the quick infatuations that come and go. I see here in the Clockwork Pumpkin that there's a wonderful idea that is coming towards you with this full moon, kind of like an epiphany, an aha moment where you think to yourself, oh, I should have thought about this earlier. I should have considered this earlier. Why did I never allow myself to move into this space mentally? So know that while you have a lot of crazy things going through your mind, that really special idea, that epiphany is coming that's going to make sense and be safe. Next up, we have the Angel of Alchemy. So the Angel of Alchemy speaks of miracles coming towards you, miracles that save you. So I want you to know here that one of these miracles may be the fact that, okay, you watch this reading, you understand that you may want to do things on a whim without thinking them through, that is the type of emotional charge and state that this full moon is going to trigger within you. So the fact that you've seen this reading and the fact that you understand that you have to just take a step back, take things slowly and think things through thoroughly may allow you to step back so much that you wait very patiently in safety in your home until you get that amazing idea, that aha moment of what you can do in order to just quench this thirst for adventure, this thirst for living life and being present in the moment. That could be going back into regularly meditating, it could be yoga, it could be spending time in nature. Either way, I definitely see a great solution coming towards you for this life force that you almost feel like you don't have a place to initially invest it into. Next up, we have the Waxing Crescent 5. In the Waxing Crescent 5, I see food being a very important focal point around the full moon. Now, group number 3, you may be sitting there saying to yourself, girl, I'm eating right now. What are you talking about? Food is a focal point of life every day, every minute of the day. So group number 3, I do want you to know that while that may be the case for you, nevertheless, the Waxing Crescent 5 speaks of nourishment on a bit of a deeper level, okay? So you making sure that you're eating things that are actually nourishing, not just self-care food, which is a cake, right? Which is soda, which are unhealthy things that we say is self-care when actually it's not self-care. Because just think about it, if it was really self-care, it would be something that is nourishing you, which is what I see coming here around the full moon. Just healthier alternatives, healthier options where you put more thought into what your body needs rather than what your cravings need. Next up, we have the new moon. So it's funny how in the full moon, we still have this new moon energy of fresh beginnings, of manifestation, and being able to create new paths, new pathways into your future. So I do want you to know here in the new moon that these beginnings are beginnings that humble you, are beginnings that will allow you to see things for what they are, to also see your impulsive streak for what it is, understanding where it comes from and why you felt like you just had to do something, even though it was maybe reckless, silly, or inconsiderate. I see here in the full moon that you understanding why you cope with things the way that you do is not only going to give you an aha moment for yourself personally, but also for your career, also for the earthly realms, and how you can create job security for yourself. Next up, we have strength. So in strength, I absolutely love this depiction. It is so beautiful. Group number 3, if you made it to this point of the reading, if this is the group that you ended up choosing, leave a little lion emoji down below in order to let me and others know. I do want you to know here in strength that there is this understanding that while you can, it doesn't mean that you should, right? Just because you can go out, just because you can, ooh, okay, we have another card that clearly wants to speak. Wow, this is the 7 of Cups. So let me explain to you exactly why I'm interrupting what we're talking about in strength for the 7 of Cups, group number 3. The 7 of Cups goes with this so beautifully because strength is all about knowing that you can, but making the right choice even if it goes against the possibility of doing whatever it is that you desire. So just because you're in a power position, it doesn't mean that you should use or abuse that power position, right? Or just because, for example, you could eat the whole cake doesn't mean that you should, right? Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. And that's what strength is about, group number 3. It's all about being able to, having the opportunity to do something, but consciously choosing to take the better option. Okay, the 7 of Cups is all about having different options and you making those choices, you being decisive about those options, choosing them from a place of strength, choosing your decisions from a place of understanding, okay, I could do something here that is fun, but just because I can, or just because the law does not restrict me from doing it, doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do, okay? So that is where I see a lot of this maturity and inner strength coming forth from you during the full moon, as soon as you've gotten over the first hurdle that is kind of tempting you into this domino effect of rushing into things. So if you can avoid that, group number 3, know that the new moon is going to turn out very favorably for you. However, if you give in to temptation of just being kind of very reckless with things, mindless instead of mindful, then it might be a bumpy ride, just being honest with you. So group number 3, we're at the end of your reading, and I hope that you found it insightful as well as motivational. Let me know down below in the comment section what hit home for you, and I'll see you in another video. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Selenite Tower, group number 4, which is such a gorgeous gem. Let's do a quick close-up of it. This is a stone that helps cleanse other crystals. So if you've been looking for a crystal to cleanse your other stones, this works wonderfully. And it is also a stone that helps you just cleanse out your personal space, your personal energies around your body. But let's move into your reading to figure out how this full moon is going to be affecting you. So we have the Lodge as well as the Drum. So one thing that I can see here is some form of awakening in the space where you feel most comfortable. So in your home, in your room, wherever it is that you feel like you have a space to retreat, to just be by yourself and be protected, that is what I see in the Lodge. And the Drum is all about that sensation of awakening, of finally understanding what is actually going on here, okay? So awakening to, for example, finding out what your life path is, or figuring out exactly what conspiracy theories are actually not conspiracies, but seem more real than a lot of people would like to admit. So overall, just a sense of awakening to truths is what I see coming with this full moon for you, group number 4. Next up, we have the Shallow Grave. So in the Shallow Grave, I see here this sensation of missing somebody, this feeling of maybe being lonely in a sense, or wanting a situation, a relationship back that has ended, okay? So it's very important for you here in the Shallow Grave to remind yourself that if somebody is toxic, if somebody has proven that they are just not compatible with you, group number 4, no, okay? No texting, no calling, no replying or poking or whatever it is that you can do these days in order to get somebody's attention. Don't do it, group number 4, don't do it. And don't do it and then say that I didn't tell you, I did tell you, okay? Group number 4, do not, and I repeat, do not try and reconnect with an ex or an ex-friend, be it platonic, romantic, it is just not it. And they may try to reach out to you because it is proven that during full moons, human beings have less sleep, less restful sleep as well. So they may be up all night thinking about you, or they may just remember you and think, hey, let me text Anna, let me text Erica. Whatever it is that they're thinking and trying to reach out for you for, don't do it, group number 4. Don't fall for it. It is not a good situation. It's not going to serve you. You have a lot deeper and more important, meaningful things that you're going through than reconnecting with somebody who is just trying to be with you when it's convenient. Next up, we have the Sea Storm. So in the Sea Storm, I see here a feeling of calm amidst chaos. So even though things are very chaotic in the world and in life, just in general, I do see here in the Sea Storm that for a change, you're calm, group number 4. For a change, you're in control. You're the type of person who has this tranquil kind of selenite energy that just allows you to absorb, but not in a way manifest what it is that that you've absorbed. So you absorb and you take in any type of energy that is uneasy, that is anxious. You're there for other people, but you're not allowing that to affect you directly. You're not allowing that to affect your sense of stability, which is really great, group number 4. Next up, we have the riddle. So I do see here just that this awakening is just really juicy, group number 4. So let's talk about these conspiracies, the things that are going on where you thought like, maybe it's a conspiracy, but it seems like there's a lot of truth here. I see here in the riddle that a lot of what you thought was true in the media, a lot of what you thought was what it seemed or what people are trying to believe you to think that it is, it's actually not true. It's actually just wrapped in a riddle. It's just wrapped in this kind of like package that has been brought to you, that is being shown to you, so that you'll be like, okay, yeah, that seems legit, when actually it's not. So a deeper understanding of what's going on in this world, what's going on with us humans, and detaching from this feeling of having to be in this swarm, in this group of people who just follow society's standards, but instead being able to go against that when you feel it's right and stand up for the right causes that really do align with who you are, that align with your values. Next up, we have the Lover. So in the Lover, I see here a lot of beauty, a lot of elegance. Again, just this sense of romantic energy, but you don't need to take that romantic energy from somebody who has proven themselves to be toxic. So that ex that's trying to rekindle this lover's energy, that friend that did you wrong, that did you dirty, group number 4, remove yourself emotionally. Do not allow them to have access to you or any of your emotions of love, of caring. It's a situation where this Lover's card is really just for you and the people who have proven to be trustworthy and proven to be there when it matters, not just when it suits them. Next up, we have the Offering. So I do see here in the Offering that there is this situation that is coming for you here around this full moon where you're being offered an incentive to do something. So offered more money, for instance, to do a certain type of job, offered a different position in a different place, offered a opportunity financially, an opportunity where somebody is promising you extra money, extra abundance, basically, but it seems too good to be true, and you know it's too good to be true, and that's where you have to be careful that you don't get suckered in and that you take time to think about it, especially if somebody's trying to rush you. Red flag if any type of situation comes up where somebody is trying to rush you into making a decision, somebody is trying to rush you into saying, okay, I'll just do it, okay, fine, I'll just invest. They're not being legitimate, group number 4, okay? During this full moon, there is no opportunity coming towards you where you have to decide very quickly. Any type of opportunity that comes for you, especially financially, is one where you should be able to allow yourself to have enough time to think about it, to consider all of the different options before moving into it. So this is not a situation where you're finding a great deal, for instance, on a home and you should just snatch it immediately. I want you to know that if you feel that pressure to snatch something immediately, be it something that's on sale, it could be real estate, it could be an opportunity to start a new business, that is not meant for you. This full moon is about taking some time to think about it, to reflect, okay, and then being able to make the decision. Anything that you're not able to gather or to snatch, to purchase, whatever you want to call it, during this full moon, it just wasn't meant to be, and you're not going to be sad about it in the future. You're actually going to forget about it pretty quickly, and you dodged a bullet, okay? If you can't think twice about it, if you feel so rushed, it's not a good decision, group number 4. Next up, we have the flower moon. So in the flower moon, things are blossoming. If you love planting, if you love the nature, look into how the full moon, the harvest moon, is affecting crops, is affecting, you know, just growth in a way, and also affecting animals if you have pets. Next up, we have the snow moon, which is all about purity. So the snow moon, in correspondence to the flower moon, shows a lot of this blossoming, a lot of this purity in your life, a lot of this coming to a sense that, hey, I may have been gaslit in the past to believe that I'm not who I really am, but I don't have to believe that, I don't have to accept that. For example, if people who should be your biggest cheerleaders, who are very close to you, who you've known for a long time, family especially, are kind of putting you in a situation where you're questioning your reality, you're questioning your integrity, understanding here in the flower moon that sometimes when you're blossoming into a new and more respectable human being because you're following your integrity, you're following your life's path, they can sometimes take that as being inauthentic, or they can claim that it's inauthentic when what's really going on is that they're just afraid of this change. Next up, we have the Father of Wands, the Ace of Swords, the Ten of Cups, as well as the Magician. So do know here in the Ten of Cups that nevertheless, emotionally, you're happy with where you are. You understand love is something that starts with you and then makes its way around the people that you know. In the Magician, I do see that in correspondence to the rest of your reading, you're going to be tapping into a lot of different areas, a lot of different thoughts. So a very hyperactive mind, something that I don't want you to be surprised about during this full moon. As in the Ace of Swords, we have the ace of this element of air, and the element of air corresponds to what's going on mentally, corresponds to your intellect. So in correspondence to so much corresponding, right? In connection to the Magician, I do see that you're going to be thinking about how emotionally your job is affecting you, and then how on an intellectual level, maybe you can challenge yourself more than what you're currently doing, than how your job is currently challenging you. But then at the same time, you're thinking about how will that affect me in the earthly realms. And there are just a lot of these connections that you're making, a lot of different thoughts that I would recommend for you, group number 4, to journal, to write down, because how you feel in this very moment, how you're going to feel during the full moon is special, it's different. You have a lot of these thoughts that are coming towards you where you have these moments of clarity, of epiphanies, where, as we spoke about in the riddle, you're seeing the truth. You're not seeing what society or the media wants you to see. You're seeing what it's really about, what life is really about for you, and what your path is all about. As I can see here in the Father of Wands, this authoritative energy around what you want to do, this authoritative energy around your life force, and this, in a way, protective energy where you're saying, look, this is my energy, this is my life force, nobody else's. So if I do not want to use my time and effort and my vitality or to give to certain corporations that I don't feel value me as either a consumer, customer, an employee, then I have to leave, then I have to make a change, because at the end of the day, people can talk a good deed, but the walk that they walk says everything. That speaks volumes. So group number 4, we are at the end of your reading, and I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. If you made it all the way to this point, leave a little flower emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that this is the group that you chose and that you made it to the end. I'm sending you so much love and gratitude, group number 4. Thank you for sharing this sacred space with me, and I'll catch you in another video.